through all 11. And we'll take it from there. You guys hear me all okay? Are we all good? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me clearly. Excellente. Okay, cool. So we are going to be talking about today the healthy conversations, but also healthy influence. Okay. Business strategies, especially if you are somebody that's running a business, that you into sales. A lot of people think that sales is just in a business, but do you know that you are selling all the time? So how many of you have children on the call? If you have children, you will be selling to them what? When to go to bed, when to get up. You're selling to them to eat their dinner. You're selling constantly, especially if you have a spouse, you are selling to them constantly, right? When to put their clothes in a dirty basket, when to make sure that they, keep the bedroom tidy. You're constantly selling, okay? You're selling every single day. So people think if they're not an entrepreneur, they're not in business, they're not actually selling, but they are. You're selling every day. Now, whether you sell successfully or not is a different story, okay? And it's important that your sales, you know the strategies in which you're using when it comes to selling, okay? So if I could give you 11 strategies today that you could go away with and implement, depending on the circumstance situation that you're currently you need to sell in, would that be something helpful to you? How many of you on this call actively know that you want to be a good seller? Because one of the things I had to do, let's take it a step back. I had to stop saying that I'm not good at sales and I don't sell. The realization is that everybody sells, right? We're all selling all the time. I was looking at I can't remember whose story it was, but there was a story there. I think it might have been Charmaine's, and she was walking with that Costa coffee cup. Indirectly, you are selling Costa. Whether they're paying you or not is a different story, but you are selling on your story. You have that Costa cup, right? Right now, I can see Abby, and I can see her, she's got a nice background going on. And she's selling me that location. It's like, where are you? I want to be there, right? Dan is selling me that sharp jacket that he's got on. He's got a nice blazer suit on. Chigs is selling me a t-shirt. It's got charity written on it, right? Violet's selling me the hair. Like, I just want to, mate, we are constantly selling every single time, right? Advertising coffee, babe. Exactly, right? We have Arlene on, who has a beautiful coffee cup and that nice yellow top. She's selling me, I want to wear yellow. Yellow and blue look really nice together, right? Fads is selling me the do-rag that he's got on his head, okay? Who else can I see? Can't see anybody else, but you guys get the point. We are constantly selling all the time, okay? So step one is to admit that you are a salesperson. And I want you to type it in the chat. I am a salesperson. We all are, guys, right? Whether we want to accept it, whether we want to say we're good at it, whether we want to say we're not so good at it, every single one of us constantly, every day, directly, indirectly are making sales. We are selling. We may not be making a commission from the sales that we're doing. We may not be seeing it as sales, but we're selling every single day. I don't know what Violet's got in that bowl, but she is selling that to me right now because your girl, after all that netball, is hungry, right? I'm holding up my mug here, subtle. I'm selling this mug, right? That's it. Affirm that, chicks. I am an incredible salesperson, right? So the first thing that we've got to do is eliminate any negative connotations to sales. So how do we do that? First of all, we affirm that we are good at sales. We understand that selling is a part of our everyday thing. The highest income earners are what, guys? Are they not sellers? Who makes the most money, right? Because you can't affirm in one hand that you want to be blessed, you want to have abundance, you want to be making 10, 15, 20, 100 million a month, and you want to say that I'm not a good salesperson, because that is a what? Contradiction. You're going to have to sell something, right? Even if it's a link in your bio. Last week, we spoke about, discovering what you're good at. maybe partnering with a company, selling their products, getting commission, finding what you're good at, starting your cakes or starting something. We did that all last week. Finding what we're good at and then putting that link in our bio so people can buy from us, right? So that was last week. What we're talking about here, so now we've understood that in this day and age, we have to be selling something. We are selling all the time, selling to our children an idea, selling to them what time to go to bed, selling to them what to eat. Like yesterday, I had to sell to my daughter to get her to eat her dinner. She was point blank refusing to eat her dinner, right? And I had to use a strategy in order to get her to eat her dinner, right? So we are constantly selling. All the parents know what I'm talking about. 777 in the chat. If you have different strategies when you're dealing with your children, differently from maybe when you're dealing with a business partner, differently from when you're dealing with your boss at work. All of us, guys, when I used to work in a bank, I had to have a strategy on how to handle my boss because I knew more than my boss, right? So we're constantly selling. Type in the chat who you currently sell to on a daily basis. Is it your children? Is it your spouse? Is it your parents? How many of us have to sell things to our parents? Right? How many of us have to sell to family? Okay, so I see children, I see clients, children, teenage students, husband, children, spouse, children, right? So the first thing we have to understand that we are salespeople. Now you get to decide to be a good salesperson or a not so good salesperson. So if we understand that we are already salespeople, the salespeople get the most success. Have you ever spoken to someone where, I don't know if this is just me, but back in the day, I know I have to go into a meeting with my boss and I planned out how I'm going to say what I'm going to say. And but my boss is such a good salesperson that by the time I go in there, I end up agreeing with everything he said. And I've done forgotten about what it is that I was going to say. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Right? Right? And it probably worked with your spouse as well. You know, you're ready to have that argument out and ready to lay it on the line. But they use a sales strategy that it just gets you. The men might know what I'm talking about. We've got different sales tactics out here. Right? So you got to understand that if you're not selling well, you're probably being sold well too. And there are different strategies right in there. So who wants to learn these strategies? I got 11 for you guys, right? 11 strategies for you. And I'm going to give you these strategies. So the first strategy that we have, okay, only if you lot want to know it. I see Rosanna says yes. Gary says yes. Cool. So the first strategy is rational persuasion. Okay. Now, rational persuasion is basically influencing people using logic. Okay. Facts. All right. How many of you know people that you could tell them all the stories in the world, but they just tell me the facts. All I want to know is the facts. I don't need to know your baby father left you. I don't need to know that it was created in God knows how long. Just tell me the facts. Some people just want rationale. So some people want you to say, if you pay £20, you can sell it back for £50. Their mind clicks and says, okay, yeah, I want to buy. Some people are rational. They just want you to tell them the facts. Now, what's the danger of you not understanding this? You be emotional to someone who's factual or rational, you lose the sale. So for example, you now, I don't know, let's say, for example, you know, you're stressed. You've been at home all day with the kids. You're stressed out. You want a break. Your spouse comes home. And instead of them, you know, helping you with the kids, they're tired from work. They chill. But you want to be able to get some time with the kids, but away from the kids. But if you say things like, I'm so tired, the kids have been stressing me out, and they're not going to respond because that is an emotional way of persuasion. But if you say to that person, you know, for 8 solid hours, the kids have just been up and down for 8 hours. I've had literally 20 minutes to myself in which I did the cleaning. And all I need is 1 hour. Because it's so rational, because it's so specific, if that person is a rational person, boom, you've made the connection. But anytime I'm making sense to you, put 777. And have you attempted to be emotional around someone who is rational and you don't get a response because you're pouring the violins out, you're pouring your heart out and you want them to empathize, but they are very simply just not that type of person. They just want, have you ever been like attempted to sell even something to someone and you're like, look, this bottle, it's nice and pink, it makes you feel good. And, I think you should get it. And it's just so cool. They're not buying. But the minute you say, look, it's £1, right? The other ones are £8. It's going to save you money. It holds the drink. And this is going to be real. They're going to buy, right? So you have to understand that. Have you ever been selling something and someone reads all the T's and C's? They want to know all the facts. They're asking you questions that you didn't even think of yourself. You're like, okay, I know where this is going. Some people are just like that. And you got to be able to hear the clues when someone is, very rational and their argument is quite logical. All right. Makes sense? That's number one. All right. Number two, guys. Number two. So number two is inspirational appeal, right? Which is almost the opposite of the first one, inspirational appeal. So this tactic basically appeals to people's like emotions or their values, okay? It could even be like jokes, how that person's personality is. It connects with that person's personality. And it can be effective in the sense where, how can I put it? So let's say, for example, you want someone to do something. Let's say, I don't know, like the other day in my area, there was a fire, right? There's a fire and all the community right now, we're rallying around to help the people who had the fire, to give them clothes and all that stuff. Now, inspirational appeal will be more like, oh my gosh, like, those poor children, those poor children, they have nothing. Like, wouldn't it be incredible if we could all help? It's more like the emotional side of things. It's more like coming with, something that will make you feel good inside. It's almost like it's appealing to someone's better nature. It's appealing to that person's values. It's emotional connection, right? How many of you have ever used that with a spouse? Baby, can you make me a cup of tea? Please, babes. Can you make me a cup of tea, baby? I'm so thirsty, babes. I love the way you make my cup of tea, right? And once I see some of you in the chat, and that might be a mix of ingratiation as well, but we'll get there in a minute. But it's more to do with the bigger cause. It's to do with it's to do with the emotional connection to what it is that you want that person to do. I'll give you an example, right? So the other day I was telling my son off for wasting money. We've been doing a financial literacy course together as a family. And, we've been talking a lot about wasting money. My children are very blessed. And what I don't want them to do is go the other side. So the one side is where we grew up, where we didn't have much. The other side is where you have it all and you don't appreciate it. So I don't want them to go on the other side. And we've had a few incidences where a lot of things have been broken. And so we've been having a discussion around cost of things and why breaking things, is not good for financial literacy. And I used inspirational appeal on my son. And I said to my son, how do you think mummy feels every time she has to go back and buy things that she's already bought? What do you think that does to how I feel? How many Zoom calls that actually costs for me to be able to buy that? How many sales I have to make for me to buy that? Do you know how much time that I'm away from you guys already? And now you've broken it again. I'm going to have to spend enough. Every time you break something, that's 4 years of Zoom calls that I'm going to have to. How do you think mummy feels? That is inspirational appeal. I'm influencing him to stop breaking things through emotion. Makes sense? Let me know if that makes sense. I want to just break it down so we can, I want to give you guys clear examples. Right? Now, number 3, okay, you guys put number 3 in the chat. Number 3 is consultation. Consultation. Now, this is a really cool one, right? Because it means we're going to make the decision together, right? How many of you have used this one? You know what you want to do. I use this with my husband all the time because sometimes, you know, when you say facts and figures sometimes, especially for men, and men, you can tell me this, when you say facts and figures sometimes, it can come across like you're telling me what to do, right? And nobody wants a woman to be nagging them all the time, telling them what to do. Like, Chigs, if your woman every second was like telling you the facts, Chigs, you know, you left your clothes on the floor again. Chigs, you know, the plate is not washed up again. Chigs, you know that you left your toothbrush on the side again. You didn't cover the lid on the toothpaste. Chigs, like, just telling you the facts constantly could potentially not influence, well, it could influence you to be angry, but it wouldn't influence you in the positive way in which it is intended. So consultation is a very democratic way of this tactic, right? And it involves almost like a joint decision. So instead of me saying that, I would say, okay, right, Chigs, what do you think about the bathroom at the moment? Like, what do you think we could do to make it a little bit better? How do you think I could buy one of them like toothbrush holders? Or what do you think we could do to make it a little bit more organized? And then you'll go, or I could put a few things from Amazon and say, hey, I was looking at these things on Amazon. These are the toothbrush holders. These are the, you know, blah, 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 blah. These are these. What do you think? Do you think that will make the bathroom a little bit more better? I bought these dirty basket bags, right? I bought these baskets where the dirty clothes can go in. What do you think, Chigs? Do you think that this would be, and now we're having a discussion, what color would you like, Chigs? Do you think the brown one or the blue one? Do you think that would be, you know, do you think that would be good? This is consultation, right? I told you guys, this will work in every relationship that you have. See, the issue that some of you women have is you using facts all the time. Tell me if I'm wrong, Chigs. Men don't want to hear the facts. You want to have a bit of consultation. You want to know that you're the king and you made the decision. So guess what? Now you said it's going to be the blue basket. I'm praying you're going to use it when we get it, right? Guys, I'll tell you now, some of you you've been selling it all wrong. That's why you're having problems. Send my check in the post, okay? Send my check in the post. How many are free? And I've only gone, this is only number 3, right? This is only number 3. I see some of you smiling like, Nikki, oh my days, I've been getting it wrong all this time, all right? Boom, consultation. All right, next one, number 4, personal appeal. Personal appeal, right? Personal appeal. Now, personal appeal will not work with everyone, right? It won't work with everyone. Because just like consultation wouldn't work if someone has no rationale. This one, personal appeal, will not work if you don't have a personal relationship with the person you want to do it as. And it could also discredit you. So for example, I could ring Chigs, I'm going to use Chigs again, as my friend and say, Chigs, do me a favor. I am 100 points away from my next rank. Buy some sprays because then I'm going to hit the rank. Help me out, brother. And you're going to go, you know what? Let me help you out. And you're going to buy the sprays. Right? Makes sense, guys? That's personal appeal. Because I have a personal relationship with him, I can ask him to do that. And Chigs will be like, okay, cool. Yeah, let me buy the sprays. Nick, you know I got your back. I'm going to buy the sprays for you because I really want to help you get there. Boom. Right? But if I said it to a stranger who I just met on the internet, it's going to mess up my credibility. I'm like, listen, please, buy the sprays. They don't even know who on earth I am. They don't even know me from nowhere. They're like, this girl's desperate. She just wants me for a rank. She just wants to make money from me. And I'm going to ruin my credibility, right? So personal appeal, very simply, is that you got to have a personal relationship in order to make a personal appeal. right? It works at home as well, right? You have a spouse, you want them to wash up for you. You're not going to give the facts. You ain't going to get them to wash up if you start giving the facts. You start saying, hey, look, babe, I'm tired. You know, you ain't washed up for 10 weeks. You know, all the time, you always put the plate in the sink. You've never done this. You've never done that. But personal appeal could say, babe, do me a favor. I'm really tired. I think you wash up for me today. And, you know, you might actually get them to go, okay, cool. I will. I'll wash up for you. Because personal appeal is is you saying it as a favor, like, can you do me a favor, right? But there has to be a relationship for that. You guys make sense? What are we going on? Number 5 now. Number 5. Now, all of them come with pros and cons, guys. None of them are perfect. That's why you got to assess the information. So let's do a recap before we go to number 5. Number 1, what was number 1, guys? Someone tell me. Number 1. Let's do this. What is number 1? Let me see who's making accurate notes. I'm gonna test you guys on this. We're gonna make sure this is happening and it's happening all good. Number 1, rational persuasion. Boom. Right. Who's brave enough to tell me what rational persuasion is? Let's see. Raise your Zoom hand. I want to hear it. I want you to unlock. Raise your Zoom hand for me. Let's see what's going on. All right, excellent. Violet, talk to me. What is rational persuasion?
Using facts. Using facts to convince a person. Yeah. Got
you. Perfect, perfect. Give Violet a round of applause. Right, number 2, guys. What is number 2? So we've got rational persuasion, which is our facts. What's number 2? Someone raise your hand. Who wants to raise their Zoom hand? Give me the answer. Georgia, excellent. What's number 2, Georgia?
Using emotions to appeal to the person.
What's the name of the strategy?
It's called it's called inspirational appeal.
Excellent, excellent. And that's more to their values and their emotions. Perfect. Thank you, thank you. Give Georgia a good old round of applause. All right, excellent, excellent. Number 3, guys. Who wants to give me number 3? They're gonna make sure we're all listening and paying attention. All right, we've got Beverly here. Beverly, what's number 3? Beverly, are you there? Oh, I think we may have lost Beverly. We'll go to Dan. Dan?
Yeah, consultation.
And what's consultation, sir?
Yeah, where you have a discussion with either the person that you're, well, either your spouse or a prospect.
Yeah.
Whereby, you know, you break it down and you have a balanced discussion, but you're you're controlling it, but it's not actually it doesn't appear that way, where you can use examples like, what do you think? Do you think we should try this spray, or do you think we should try that spray, or do you think we should try this package or that package, for example?
I wouldn't say those 3 T words, but I would I would use the rest. Thank you, sir. That was that was right on track. I will expect the £3 when I check the cash. Okay. Lovely, lovely. Perfect, perfect, Dan. Number 4. Who wants to give me number 4 before we move on to number 5? All right. Excellent, Dan. So we have rational persuasion, inspirational appeal, consultation, and what was number 4? Don't be shy, guys. Violet again. Oh no, we'll go to Fads this time.
To use a personal connection or personal emotion to indulge somebody into making a certain decision.
Yeah, what's it called? What's the actual?
Personal appeal.
Yes, that's it. Personal appeal. And personal appeal is exactly what you said, is like asking for a favor. Yeah, there's asking for a favor to somebody that you have a personal relationship with. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Excellent. You guys are very much my top students. Okay, so next one is one of my favorites. I think I use this quite a lot. Now, those of you that I personally mentor, I've taught this to you guys so many times as well. So you'd be like, oh my gosh, that's what Nikki does. However, it is all genuine. All right. So the next one, number 5, is called ingratiation. I love this one. It's my favorite one. Ingratiation. Okay. So that's INGRATIATION. Now, ingratiation is sweet talk, in other words. The actual definition of it says getting on someone's good side before asking them to do something. So it could be coming from compliments, all right? You know, making sure that they're nice, you know, making sure they're all good before you ask them to do something. So, example of that would be Mr. Gary Dixon. I'll call him. I'm like, Gary, you know, you are an amazing gentleman. You have been supporting me so much. And you know what? I need you to support me again. Can you run this call for me today, sir? Right? And Gary says, yes, Nikki, of course, I'm gonna do that. Right? Another way would be, you know, me saying to my husband, baby, you know, the last time you gave me that massage, babes, it felt good. Could I get another one? Babe, you know, every time you do this, it really makes me, you know, smile. You know, the last time you made me that oxtail and rice and peas, oh my days, babe, you know, that was the best. You are the best chef ever. Like, honestly, I don't know what I'd do without you, baby. I honestly don't know what I'd do without you. You are incredible. And it's funny, after ingratiation, I get breakfast in bed. I get, you know, kids dropped to school, picked up. Well, they don't get dropped, they get picked up. So ingratiation is complimenting, genuine compliments. Not no. Now, what's the flip side to this is if you do it wrong, right? You can see me licking my lips. Hey, behave yourself. Married folks only, right? If you do it wrong, what's the potential downside to this strategy, guys? If you do it wrong, right? How many of you have seen people that are not genuine with their compliments? How many of you have seen people that compliment and it's fake, or they compliment and you know, you could get the wrong end of the stick, right? Men, how many of you have complimented a woman and she thinks all of a sudden that something else is going to happen? You're like, I'm just saying that you look good. I wasn't saying anything else, right? So like for me personally, for business, you have to be careful how you use ingratiation, right? Man, you slide in someone's DM, right? And you get in the DM and you say, oh, looking at your post, you look really nice, right? You got to be careful with that, because people are going to assume that there's a different intention behind that compliment, okay? This, you know, every strategy I'm teaching you, there's positives and negatives towards them, and it's got to be done to the right person. So how can you use ingratiation to be able to influence, okay? And there is a difference between influence and manipulate, guys, right? There is. Influence, there's always a positive for that person, as well as there could be a positive for you as well. Manipulation is only you benefit and that person doesn't benefit. And there's a thin line between that, okay? So these strategies are influencing strategies. They're not there to manipulate. So it can be, you know, it can be done when it's executed well, right? Complimenting is a good thing. When was the last time you compliment your friends? I compliment my friends generally every single time I speak with them, because I know that they are important to me. I know that they are, you know, it's very important, especially in this day and age, to compliment each other. but it's got to be done from a genuine place, right? It's got to be done from a place of love and from a place of really uplifting that person. Yes, because sometimes people are complimenting with an ulterior motive. Now, when I compliment Gary at a certain time because I want him to do a Zoom call, I still have an ulterior motive, but I know that Zoom call is also going to be good practice for him as well, right? It's also going to be good for his development. It's going to be good for him to be able to do. But if I wanted him to do something that wasn't benefiting him, like, have you ever had a boss that gets you to do their work? It doesn't benefit you at all. You don't get no overtime. You don't get nothing, right? And you're just there doing all their work. That is manipulation. Okay. Okay, cool. Let's move on to number 6. Hopefully we'll get towards these. Okay, number 6 is exchange, right? Exchange. I've got a funny story about exchange. I saw someone do this really, really badly. It was terrible. All right. Now, exchange basically is a tactic that you say to somebody, you know, if you do this for me this time, I'll do that for you next time. So it's like a you do for me, I'll do for you type thing, right? And how that could be really, really good, especially, you know, I don't know, in business, when you're working with people that are not like directly in your team, you could say to them, I'm going to run a call today. Can you do a testimony on my call? And I'll do a testimony on your call, right? That is a fair enough exchange. They're giving to you, you're giving to them, all right? That's a fair exchange, right? I once had somebody, oh, this is a funny story. Somebody used exchange in a very terrible way to the point where it offended the person. Oh, I see Sherna's on. Sherna may remember this. So the person, one of my good friends that me and Sherna both know, is really, really good at doing flyers, right? Really good at doing flyers. And so because the person that was using the tactic didn't want to pay for someone to do their flyers, they wanted to get our friend to do the flyers for them for free, and attempted to use the exchange, but ended up offending her. Was like, look, if you do the flyers for me, I'll teach you how to sell, I'll teach you how to prospect to grow a team. She was like, are you suggesting that I don't know how to build a team? Like, are you crazy? Like, we've made the same amount of sales. Like, what are you talking about? And it actually offended her, you know? So you got to make sure that the exchange actually is beneficial to the person you want to exchange with. But also as well, there has to be a relationship. It's got to be beneficial both sides. It's almost like me saying to you, Gary, can you do all my calls this week? And I will help you with one call at the end of the year. Like, who's benefiting? Like, what's the exchange? There's got to be. And has anybody ever attempted to do that? I can't think of more examples on the top of my head, but has anyone ever attempted to exchange something with you and you just felt like it just didn't add up? Like, this just doesn't feel fair. Like, why am I doing all the work? How is it that I'm doing all the work? And the benefits don't seem to balance. Like, it just seems to be like, it seems to be off. Anybody ever experienced something like that? Excellent. So exchange is one of them ones that it's really got to be, you know, it's really got to be, there has to be a balance, and both parties must really see that the exchange is worth it, right? Boom. Number 7 is coalition. This is a real cool one. I've used this a lot. And what coalition is a tactic where basically you leverage other people to influence other people to get your message across. So rather than me saying to you guys, you know, rather than me saying to my husband, I don't know, I need you to wash up every day, for example, I could then go, oh my gosh, you know, Belinda and Nick was saying that how you know, he washes up every day, so Belinda doesn't have to. Like, it's like a story about other people. So other people do the whole, do you get it? So other people are your example. So you don't have to, right? Have you ever seen in business, for example, you have a bunch of people together doing something and then you leverage off of that. So you would see, for example, if you're in my group, I will share videos of other people doing things that I want my group to do, right? So if you're married here and you want your husband to do a certain thing, like for example, anytime I see a chefing video on Instagram that would motivate and inspire my husband, instead of me saying, I think you should do this, I will send him that video so that he can see that this is somebody else in a position that he's in that's doing this thing, and this will inspire him to go ahead and do that thing. Does that make sense? Right? So it's, influencing strategy number 7 is using other people. So for example, we'd have the testimonies, and we'll pull up different people and different people will give testimonies. That's not me telling my entire network what to do. They're hearing it from loads of testimonies, and those testimonies make everybody else think, oh my gosh, maybe I should do it. Have you ever been on a call where you've heard someone talking about the financial literacy course, or you've heard somebody talking about the sprays? Nobody told you, but because you heard it from multiple people, you're like, okay, I want those. I want to do that. What about, how many of you have seen, how many of you have never been to Dubai, but you want to go to Dubai because of what you've seen on Instagram? That's a perfect example, right? The coalition strategy is very clever. Nobody says anything. It's a group of people all doing something that influences somebody who's not currently doing it to want to do it. I went to Dubai because I saw everybody else was going to Dubai. That's it. No one was going to Dubai. No one knew about Dubai. My mom didn't know about Dubai. I didn't grow up going to Dubai. I simply went to Dubai because I saw everybody else was going to Dubai. So a coalition can work really, really well if you want to get people to move in a place, but without you telling them, you use other people's stories, you use other people's things. Now, here's the flip side to this strategy. The flip side to this strategy is, the spirit of comparison can really hurt. So if I kept saying to my husband, look at Nick, look what he's doing with his household, look at this person, look what they're doing, look what this person's doing, it actually does the opposite and could make him feel like, what? What? But we're not them. Next minute you hear, but I'm not Nick. I'm not. Then go marry Nick. Then all of a sudden you start a war, because now it could look. Yes, jealousy can come up. You might make them feel down. So you have to be able to use it in a way where it's not like, these strategies are not set in stone. You've got to pick and choose the moments when you're going to use a certain type of strategy, right? So, for example, we have a couples retreat thing that we do once a year before COVID. And, that came about because of how many times we had couples around us that needed a breakaway from the children, right? So we use coalition to say, do you know what we need to do? Couples retreat. And so now we're going to get back onto that again. But the point is that came from a coalition strategy. Make sense? You guys feeling it so far? I told you, I really enjoyed this session. New things come up all the time. New things come up all the time. And I've also got, there's one more, and then there's 3 negative strategies, which are still influencing, but they're classed as negative. But yeah. All right, the number 8 is upward appeal. All right, upward appeal. Now, this is the one that you normally use for like your boss or someone who has more authority, maybe a parent. And it's really going to benefit you. So upward appeal, how can I put it? All right, let me just read you the definition. So it's asking for support of your superiors before making a request to other people. So it's also effective as it gives you more authority. So for example, if I'm going to get my team, let's say I've got a team of people that I want to get to do something. So let me give you an example, right? Yesterday, I was selling some tickets, right? And sometimes familiarity breeds content. So me selling the ticket, I've been selling tickets for now 10 years. So if I go on Instagram and I go and sell tickets on Instagram, and all my followers are used to me selling tickets on Instagram, what do they think about that event? Is it anything special? Like, it's just another event, right? If I'm speaking to my network about an event, it's just another event. So upward appeal is where I find someone who's making more money than me, someone who my network are not used to seeing all the time, and they say the message for me. I get their support and they help me say it. So I do a joint Instagram live, I do a joint training with them, and they now come on that thing, and they're now like, yeah, I'm gonna be at the event, this event is gonna be lit. And so now it's not me, it's a different angle. It's now a next level to this event. Makes sense? Put 777 if it makes sense, right? How many times have you told your spouse something and they haven't listened, but someone with more money, more knowledge, more wisdom, more years, tell them the same thing and they go ahead and listen? Come on now, someone tell me. How many of you, this is the ladies, how many of you mentor or lead or manage or supervise a male, and you tell that male to do something, he doesn't listen, but another male leader tells them to do it and they listen? Guys, I've seen this happen so many times. I've seen it happen to the point where I've told men that I lead something and I learned they don't listen. So I call a Pastor Luke, or I call a Sir Gary, and I get them to tell them, and they then go ahead and do it. Now, that is what you call upward appeal. Now, to that person, they're happy because they feel like they got access to somebody higher, somebody bigger. They're ready, they're motivated, not knowing that it's actually me that motivated them indirectly, because I'm the one that hooked it all up. That's upward appeal. Sometimes in order for you to win, it doesn't have to be you. And we're so connected sometimes to thinking that the center of attention has to always be us. And then we get offended and we start saying things like, oh, why did they listen to me? I said the same thing. No, you just want the result. Don't be so connected to who it is that's getting the highlight. You just want the result. So if it means you have to call a male, ladies, to get the message across, you get a male to do it. Right? So Marlene, you're in Barbados and you've been talking to a male who said he's going to do this and that, and he's not signing up to your business and you're waiting. You know, you have Brother Gary from England. You can leverage him and you can say, listen, I want to hook you up with a gentleman called, Gary. He's from England. I think you'll connect. That person doesn't even know that Gary is simply just going to reinforce and get your product sold on your behalf. But guess what? He listens. Why? Because he's a male. He's from England. And all of a sudden, he's everything. You're just nothing. Right? You're just a local cat. He's used to seeing you every day. But you don't care about any of that. All you care about is getting the business done. So you're going to leverage your upward appeal. Does this make sense, guys? Because this is psychology behind this stuff. So you've got to let go of the ego. You've got to be humble enough to be able to say to yourself, okay, boom, this is the strategy I'm going to use. Right? Now, before I go into the 3 negative ones and we wrap up, how many of you right now on this call know that at some time or another in your sales process, you have been using the wrong strategy? Come on now. That you can think of a person where you're like, okay, they're really analytical and I went with personal appeal. How many of you know someone who's really fun and bubbly and you're going and telling them the facts? Oh, it costs £200. Oh, it costs £1,000. They don't care about that. They just want to know, oh, we're going to St. Lucia. We're going to Orlando. Boom, they're going to sign up. So when you're speaking to people, you got to know, because if you use the wrong strategy, you're going to not get the result. So let's go over it again. Right. Okay, so if I am, let's do a quick test. If I am somebody who only cares about the facts, the figures, the numbers, which strategy will I be using? Which one am I going to be using? If I only care about facts and figures, I don't care about emotions, I just want to know the numbers. I just want to know exactly what it is. Boom, rational persuasion. Mr. Customer, friend, whatever, this is £20. If you buy this and you sell it back, you can sell it back for 50. Boom, I am buying because I like rationale. It's going to take you 3 months to get your social media up and running, 1 month to do this. Baby, if you do this, how about this rational persuasion? Baby, if you wash up for me every night, you know, that saves me an hour. It makes me less tired. And you know, tonight is going to be your lucky night. Like tonight is going to be good. If I don't have to wash up tonight, I tell you that, I'm not going to be tired. If I don't have to pick up those clothes off the floor, I'm not going to be tired. Why? Because I know that I would have saved an hour. And that hour that I saved, baby, is yours. You're going to get it good tonight, right? So rational persuasion. The men are like, yo, Nikki, I wish I put my wife on this call. Rationale, right? Rational persuasion. That's number one. Number two, I know I'm not doing number two. Let's mix it up because I just told you the answer. Okay, if I need a favor, if I'm going to ask for a favor, what strategy is that? Let's see if you guys are paying attention. Strategy of asking for a favor. Excellent. The point goes to you, Fads. You were first. Personal appeal. So personal appeal is where I say, oh, can you do me a favor? Right? I'm not going to mention the facts and figures because the facts and figures don't matter. Can you do me a favor? Can you pick up the kids tonight? Can you do me a favor? Can you buy, you know, you're a best friend of mine. I know you don't really understand my business, but can you just buy a product? Can you help me out? Can you help me out? I'm so close to my target this month. Can you help me out? Right? And remember, you can't say that to everyone because that will decredit your credibility. So you know that personal appeal is close family, friends, people that you know are going to have your back, right? Same like in your partnership. Baby, can you do me a favor? I know it's my turn to pick up the kids, but I'm shattered. Can you do me a favor and pick up the kids? Can you do me a favor and wash up for me? Right? Personal appeal, boom. Which is the discussion one where we have an open discussion, even though it's not really open, but it's a discussion. Which one is that one? Okay. The discussion, right? Consultation. So consultation is me saying, what do you think? What do you think we should do? Right? What do you think we should do? So basically you're telling me that you are in this specific situation. So let's say you're a coach, you're a mentor, and you're listening to your team member or one of your mentees. Consultation is very simply an open dialogue where you're now going to have that conversation. So let me say so what you're saying to me is, you know, things are a little bit tight for you right now financially. And, you know, you really want to, you want to, you know, change your situation, but things are a bit tight. Would it be fair to say, or would you be in agreement with setting out a plan on how we can fix that? What is it that you're willing to do? What is it you're not willing to do? How much time are you willing to put in? Right? This is now a conversation. This is not me dictating. This is you telling me what it is that you want. Right? Consultation, boom. All right, which one of these is complimenting? Okay, so I'm gonna say, Mr. Gary, every time you run the Zoom calls, you got everyone buzzing. That was a great call, Mr. Gary. Absolutely amazing. So guess what? I want you to do it again tomorrow. Right? Compliment. Baby, I love it when you wear that shirt. That shirt is nice. What do you think he's gonna do? He's gonna wear that shirt again. Right? That's ingratiation. Ingratiation is giving compliments, all right? And again, we want to make sure that we are careful with that because we don't want to give out the wrong message, right? We also want to make sure that when we're complimenting, it is genuine. Otherwise, people can find you fake as well, right? And then we just went through exchange, coalition, and upward appeal, okay? Upward appeal is obviously when you get somebody of higher influence to come in and you know, say the message for you, someone who other people, you know, respect. So think about who you can collaborate on a joint Instagram live. Think about in your relationships, you know, who could come in and get a message together that could help to bring the relationship forward. Think about who you need to connect with. You know, a lot of time people respect you not for who you are, but who you're with. Right? Even in conversations, you know, they call it name dropping, but name dropping works. You mention a few people that you're hanging around, like, oh, you definitely want to come. This person's going to be there. You know, that one about coalition. How many of you have ever been tricked before? I've been tricked before. I got an invite. Someone invited me somewhere. And they're like, everyone in the industry is going to be there. You have to be there. Just because of coalition, not wanting to be missed out. Like everyone's going to be there. I do not want to be missed out. How many of you have ever been watching an event online or watching on Instagram or watching and seeing the whole world? What seems like everyone that you know is in an event and you're the only one not there. Like coalition is a very, very dangerous strategy, guys. It is that feeling of not being left out. No one wants to be left out. But here's the thing, one time someone invited me and was using coalition, not knowing that the person that they mentioned was a fraudster and I didn't get on with. So they were like, oh, such and such is going to be there. This is me, I'm definitely not coming then because he's a scammer. Right? So just make sure the people that you're leveraging are legit. You know, you really want to make sure that you got the right people that you're leveraging. But coalition is, if you use coalition very well, right? You know, how about this? I want to introduce you to my girl, Jenny, right? What Jenny does is she works with parents who have children and teaches them how to connect with their teenagers. And she's got a portfolio of over 100 different parents that she's helped. And every single one of them now have a better relationship with their children. What have I done there? I've used coalition. I've used other people's stories. I've used, you know, a little bit of rational persuasion as well, because I'm using facts and figures. So you can mix them up a bit as well, right? To be able to influence you to make a decision to now find out a bit more about Jen. Does that make sense? So let me give you a quick story, guys. I want you to think about someone right now. This is your homework. Someone that you need to influence. One person. Write it down on your bit of paper, not on Zoom. Write it on a bit of paper. It could be privately, personal. It could be business, right? Someone that you specifically want to influence, okay? And then what I want you to think about is what are the influencing strategies that you're going to use? And I'm going to give you a clear example, guys, because this example is a true fact, right? It's a true fact, okay? So my husband used to be that person that every single time he took his clothes off, he would put the clothes on the floor. On the floor. Doesn't matter if like it was on the floor. And so here's me going through these strategies, right? And I know I've got 3 more to give you, but they're real quick. And I'm going through these strategies. Actually, before I tell you that, I'm going to tell you that to close off. Let me give you the last 3. Okay. So number 9 is assertiveness, right? These are the negative ones, but they're still whatever. So number 9 is assertiveness. Okay. Assertiveness is basically a push tactic. It's basically like giving a deadline. It's like, look, I've got until tomorrow. Let me know by tomorrow. Otherwise, we can't do business. Okay. Or it could be, look, the offer ends tomorrow. That's it. After that, it's gone. A little bit like the tickets. Tickets were like, look, mate, once the tickets are gone, they're gone. I've got no more tickets. Okay. So number 9 is assertiveness. You're giving a deadline. You're just saying, this is it. Like there's no, you know, and in relationships, you know, remember I said these are the negative ones. These are the ones you want to use like, mate, last case scenario type thing. Okay. In fact, it depends. Okay. Because here's what I did. Said to my son, if the dirty clothes are not downstairs by Saturday morning when the washing starts, you will go to school with dirty clothes on. Because I'm not doing any more washing. I'm only doing the washing that's downstairs. That's assertiveness. That's me saying, I'm giving you a deadline and you must bring the clothes downstairs. Because if you don't, you're going to school with dirty clothes. So it's quite direct, it's quite assertive. Makes sense? 7 sevens if it makes sense. Boom. Number 10. Okay. And again, these ones are, you know, last worst case scenario is pressure. Okay. Pressure is, I don't like to use the word intimidation, but it's like threats. It's like, I know, calling the authorities kind of thing. It's like, have you ever got a letter from, like, you haven't paid a bill and they're threatening you that you're going to go to court if you don't pay it? That's pressure. Yeah. Pressure would be like, I know, if you don't do something, this is gonna happen, right? It's like a red letter, basically. When the red letter comes, you know, if you don't pay, the bailiffs are gonna come. You don't pay, you're gonna go court. So in business terms, if you're a coach, I know some coaches do this, if you don't pay, you get removed out of the group. There's a consequence, you know, attached to your, you not complying. So it's still an influencing strategy, because now that person feels under pressure to do what it is that needs to be done, right? It could be an ultimatum, but there's usually a consequence for that, right? So that's number 10, pressure. And then 11 is legitimating, all right? Now, legitimating is, again, another pressurized tactic. It's almost like, how can I put it? You're convincing somebody that they should do it, because otherwise the result of them not doing it is going to be detrimental to them, right? So it's very similar to pressure, but it's worse, because it's almost like, look, if you don't do this, like, it's the end for you. Like, it's like legitimating is the last resort. It's like the worst one out of all of them. Like, it's past pressure now. Legitimating is, look, if you don't do this, I'm gonna call my dad and he's gonna come and take you out of here and take your bags and you're out on the street. Like, it's that final. Whereas pressure is more like, okay, you can still pay and you can, like, you know, you could get away with it. You still got time. But legitimating is like, there's no time. Time is up now. It's now or never. Like, tell me a decision now. Like, you know, it's cutthroat. It's finished. So those three at the end are like your last case scenarios, your worst case scenarios, right? It's like your take it away. I'll give you an example. I had a girl that messaged me in December and said she was signing up to my program and she didn't sign up. And so for me, it's not that even the fact that she didn't sign up, it's the communication as well. You messaged me and said you're going to sign up on the 10th came, you didn't sign up. I did all your paperwork, I got everything ready, messaged you, you ignored me, messaged you again, you ignored me. Now, me personally, now legitimating comes into play. I'm gonna say, I hope you're all well. I've seen that, you know, you're fine. So saw you on Instagram, blah, 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 you're fine. But I just wanted to let you know that, you know, unfortunately, I've taken the slot away from my mentorship program. It's not available, but you still are, you know, welcome onto the mindset sessions, right? So now I've taken it away completely. That's legitimating. That's me saying you no longer have an option. This is it, right? And so sometimes, guys, in your life, you will have decisions to make like that. You will have moments where you're gonna have to just remove your access or remove completely whatever it is that you provide to individuals, whether that's business or whether that is privately. There has to be a line that's drawn, and legitimating is needed sometimes, because pressure is you saying, okay, I'm going to give you some time. We've got until this. Legitimating is now saying enough is enough. There is no more. I'm done. Like, we can't do business together. We can't be together. That this friendship is no longer, right? So it's more like it's a strategy of closure, basically. It's a strategy saying there's no more. Hope that makes sense, guys. Make sense? Boom. So let me go back to my story now as we close out. So hubby always putting things on the floor, right? Always putting things on the floor, clothes on the floor. And this is when we first got married, like really, really early on. And, you know, early on, I was just like, I'm a neat freak. Everything has to be everywhere it needs to be. I don't want nothing thingy. So I started off with rational persuasion. I was like, babe, you know, I've noticed, like, you always put things on the floor. Like, you've been putting things on the floor. And I pick them up, right? So when you put them on the floor, I just pick them up, put them in the basket. I pick them up, put them in the basket. So I'm like, babe, I bought a new basket. So this is me stating the facts. I bought a new basket. I'm gonna put it right there where you know, take your clothes off before you get in the bath, in the shower. I'm gonna put it right here. This is the new basket, okay? Boom. So I've given him the facts. I've done the new basket. Come back, clothes still on the floor. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me go to inspirational appeal. So I'm like, babe, I really feel like if you put the clothes in the basket, it'll just, just make things a lot better. Could you do me a favor? This is now personal appeal. Could you do me a favor and put the clothes in the basket? Clothes still weren't coming in the basket, guys. Like the clothes were still going on the floor. Odd sock here, clothes on the floor. I'm like, okay, cool. Consultation time. What do you think we can do, babes? Like, do you think that, is the basket in the wrong place? Should I move it to the bed? Should I move it over there? He's like, no, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool in the bathroom. Okay, cool. Again, clothes still on the floor, right? Clothes still on the floor. Now, there'll be odd times where he uses a basket. So guess what? I use ingratiation. I'm complimenting him. I'm like, babe, oh my God, thank you so much. You really helped me. Like, it was so much easier to just bring the stuff down. It was all in the basket as nicely. To compliment him, to hopefully that would really encourage the good behavior. Went back again, guys. Straight back on the floor again. Straight back on the floor. So then I was like, okay, cool. Exchange. And I was like, babe, you see, every week that you put your clothes in the basket, every week, you go a whole week putting your clothes in the basket, I'm gonna give you a rub down, massage, every week. Guys, you know that the clothes have been in the basket ever since. Like, there has not been a time where the clothes are down on the floor. I don't find clothes on the floor. They say if you first don't succeed, like, you just have to know that there's some strategies that just won't work. So your homework today, guys, is this. One person who you want to influence. What strategy or strategies do you need to use in order to connect with them in a way that they're going to understand? Now, how did he benefit? Happy, what did I say? Happy wife, happy life? He's getting massages out of it. I don't even need to exchange anymore because it's just natural. But sometimes word of advice is that it's not that you're not connecting with people. It could just be the wrong strategy that you're using. Right? It could be the wrong strategy that you are using. So guys, has this been helpful? I would love to hear your feedback before we close out. Can I get like 5 people just to give me their feedback? I want to know what strategies you like, what 2 strategies you think you're going to use the most, which ones you think has really appealed to you, and how you found this session. I really do want the feedback. It'll be great to hear it as we wrap up. Raise your Zoom hand if you can. That would be really good. I see Gary hand up first. Raise your Zoom hand, guys. I'm going to get through a few people. Gaza, what are you saying, brother?
Yep, fantastic session. I've already got mine planned, organized. I know what strategy I'm going to use, and I know who I'm going to work this on. So thanks for that. This has really been very, very helpful.
Good, excellent. Thank you, sir. Dan, who else? Put your Zoom hands up if you can, guys. I'd really love to hear your feedback, especially if you're always quiet on these sessions. Please give 2 seconds to give me some feedback. That'd be great. Dan, what's up, brother?
Yes, sister. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, personal appeal. A lot of them. Obviously, they can all be used at different times. It's just the thing is that, like, actually naming them. Actually having a name for the actual. Sorry, by the way, what's the title of today's?
So it's 11 influencing strategies.
11 influencing strategies.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's so I like the fact that, when you give it a name, then you can actually pinpoint the strategy in your mind, and you can actually aim for it and then use it at different stages, in different circumstances. It's a great thing because that's like you said, you've been teaching it for a long time, and like the fact that I've been able to actually, I get something from it anyway. I get something in the sense of, I know that I can pinpoint and say, okay, yeah, so that was upward appeal. Okay, oh, I can hear that that person's doing inspirational appeal, rational, you know, I can hear that those different things going on.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a great thing to have.
Excellent.
So
And
thanks
do you
very
know
much
what?
for that.
You're welcome. Do you know what? Sometimes we're probably, as you said, using them in some shape or form already, but to pinpoint the names and know what strategy specifically, then we can be very targeted, strategic with how and when we use it. Belinda.
Hey, that was really good, Nikki. Thank you for that. Being a mother, a wife, and working in schools with children, I realized that I use a lot of these strategies like on a day-to-day basis. Just didn't have the professional names for them. So it was good to like listen to you like break it down, because I was like, oh, I use that, I do that. But yeah, I was on the road when you was talking, so I didn't get much notes. But if anyone's got any notes, guys, I appreciate if you could share with me, because I want to be, it's going to be recorded, right? So I can go back over it and write it all down.
I'm gonna put it inside the community so that we can all access it. So yes.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. Yeah, but great, cool. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Any strategy that you heard and you was like, oh my God, I'm doing that wrong, or I need to change my tactic?
It's just the thing, like when you were saying, like, obviously people that you need to influence, I've never really looked at it like that, that you have to kind of like think about the way they think and tune into them that way. Because obviously there's some people I'm just like, why? I've been trying with them and it's just like point blank. But then maybe I need to
that T word.
Yeah, here we go. But I need to like use another strategy, as you said, come again and, you know, work it out that way. But yeah, it's been good. Thank you.
It took me 5 to 6 strategies before I got you know, Anton to use the dirty basket. And the problem is we use one strategy and we give up, or 2 and then we give up. So Violet, what's good?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So all of them have been very, very useful. Having names, like everybody said, is you kind of think, oh, is that what I've been doing? I think I've been using rational persuasion and emotional inspirational appeal, but at the wrong time and with the wrong people. So I suppose those are maybe easier to use as you get to know the people more and you know which one works for them, rather than when you're first, you know, coming across them. I think what I will work on more now is the coalition and the ingratiation. I think those are probably easier to work with people that I don't know, like you're just getting to meet. So those 2, yeah, and then personal appeal with the people I know.
Yes, girl, love it. I think I use ingratiation so much because I just love complimenting people. Like, it's just natural to me. And I didn't even realize it until I started to reflect, like, which one do I use the most? In fact, guys, type in the chat which one you use the most. Jen, I see you there, girl, Jenny. Let me unmute you. Be good to know which one people are using the most right now. What's up, girl?
Hi, Nikki. Thank you so much. You know, the strategies that you've went through. I like the way you was talking about the complimenting when you're complimenting your husband, and the one where you said about the access, where somebody didn't communicate with you, they were supposed to come back to you and you took away the access. I know you were saying some of them that we leave it at the last minute, you know, with all.
Yes.
I realize is that some of the strategies I've been using them probably on the wrong people. So this has definitely made it a lot clearer for me tonight. So thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. That's great. It's true, you know, and sometimes we're scared to use that legitimating one. You know, it shouldn't be the one that we use all the time because we don't want to come across like being like mean, but also as well, there's a bit of self-worth in that as well. Like, people must qualify for your time. And if they keep messing about with your time, then you got to take it away and you've got to be quiet. And it, you know, it sounds quite harsh, but it's like, oh, you know, like, oh, the slots are filled now. That is that's legitimating. Oh, because you didn't get back to me, the slot was filled. I will put you down for maybe March or April, and then we can connect again and see if it's more suitable for you when you have more time. Right? And people don't like it when they don't have access. When you take something away, oh my days, you know. And so think about the ones that you use all the time. Think about your natural. I know for a fact, mine is ingratiation. I compliment people just so naturally. And what I've had to do over the years is learn to diversify it when I can pick up that somebody is, you know, their influencing strategy will be different. And so think about the one that you use most naturally and understand that that's your gift. That's the one that you have. That's the one that you go to. But just also know that it's not for everyone. And so sometimes when you get a disconnect, it could be the fact, like some people are money driven. You hear them say, you know, you hear them, you say something to them and they're like, you know, if you do this, you're gonna make 100 grand a month. Some people that's their trigger. They're like, oh my gosh, yeah. But if you said to them, oh my God, there's so many lovely people, it's a really great community, they're like, Rob, I don't care about that. You say 100 grand a month, they're awake, right? But then on the flip side, like we've got Auntie Anne, for example, she's one of my like best friends. And if I mention to her 100 grand a month, that doesn't do anything for her. But if I say, you know, we can give to charity, it's going to be able to be really good. We can, you know, really serve the community. Boom, she's there. She's like, what do I? So, you know, you have to know what type of people are going to respond to what type of part of your, you know, your strategy, and know that that's going to work for them. And what the biggest mistake people make, like for me, if someone comes to me and says 100K a month, I'm turned off because money is not my motivator anymore, right? So there has to be a purpose behind what I'm doing. You have to come to me and say, you know, we're going to help the kids, or there's some youths over there that we're going to pour into, or there's some children that we're going to help. That's my, you know, that's how you get to me. That's inspirational appeal. But if you come to me and say, oh, look, you know, and don't get me wrong, I do need the facts as well. I do need to know, like, when I'm going there, am I going to get paid? Like, what's going to happen? But I need to know that what I'm doing, my deciding factor isn't the money. My deciding factor is the cause. And so don't always assume that people just want to hear about the money. Sometimes you got to get to know someone's heart, understand what makes them trigger, what makes them tick. If I said to my husband, let's go over there for 50 grand, he ain't doing it. He's not motivated by money whatsoever. Nothing ain't gonna move him. But if I said that we're gonna be able to give back, send some barrels back to Jamaica, do some cool, he's on it, like he's there. So my advice to you guys as you come off your homework, and I do want you guys to put that in the Healthy Challenge, your homework is to use the strategies for one person. Be intentional about using your strategies with one person. And then once you've used it, put it inside the chat that you use it. Let me know the feedback on how it went. I promise you guys, now you're aware of it, it's going to change the game for you. Okay, so good night. I know we went a little bit over a Healthy Challenge. We have another 8 more days left of our Healthy Challenge. Guys, for the final 8 days, give it everything. Give it everything. I do have a special announcement to make at the end of the challenge because I have been able to get something really, really amazing for us. So if you are in the group, keep a lookout for that. I'll drop something in. But this is the third 3 weeks gone of the challenge. Everyone is doing so amazingly well. We've had healthy minds, healthy tongue, healthy heart, healthy head, and now healthy business. And then next week, we're going to have healthy emotions, because I think that is a good one to tidy it up on and keep ourselves going to the end, okay? Because emotions, how we control our emotions is going to decide if we are finishers or if we're quitters. I think you guys will all agree, you know, that the biggest thing that holds people back is their resilience. Keep going and being consistent. So we're going to have healthy emotions next week. Who's ready for that one? All right. So good night. God bless you guys. I'm going to have a shower and get myself to bed and pray that these muscles after netball are not, you know, the first time you go gym after a long time, you already know. Pray for me tonight, guys. All right. But thank you guys. Please, inside the chat on Instagram, if you can, you know, put up your top takeaways from this call. Give me some love, all right, in the chats. Let me know that you really found this powerful, and I will upload this and put the recording inside the community as well, all right? Thank you so much, guys. God bless you, and have an amazing rest of your evening. Peace out.